Hello, the coffee cakes. Well, how about that? I didn't think I was going to see this news today, but we did. I want to see how y'all feel about that. I'll tell you how I feel about that. Okay. Hey, H7. So that's the breaking news of the day, huh? Message? What message? I see your message. Oh, those are coffee cakes. Wow. They have coffee cake emojis? That's awesome. Wow, H7. I didn't know that. How cool is that? I bet you my title's going to bring in a lot of trolls, folks. Yep, yeah. That's what I'm going to talk about. Oh, I see it. Oh, okay, awesome. Oh, because I was running a little. I don't know why this was taking time for me to get in here. Yeah, Cuomo did resign. He did. Yes, I actually wanted to. I actually wanted to go live about that. Um, well, I think if you know how I feel about it, then you know how I feel about it. But I'll talk about it anyways. Oops, what did I do here? All right, I'm going to switch to my other account. Hey, Joe. So I'm back in this account. Okay. So what happens is, I guess there was some kind of two-step sign-in thing. So Google took that down. Thank goodness. So now I have two channels. And like I said, I'm keeping this one as my streaming channel. My new channel, I'm keeping that for content. And that's going very, very well, I must say. But yeah, I definitely want to. Oops. Free to download, free to use. Oops. I want to get another view on my channel. Okay. So wow, this is something I didn't think that I was going to see this. To tell you the truth, who thought they were going to? Who really thought they were going to see this? Did anyone think here that Cuomo was going to resign? Because I was like 50-50 on it. I mean, the thing is this: if Cuomo, now this is what I was on, this is the impression that I was given by a senator of mine, a senator that is a friend of mine who is actually a Republican senator. So Cuomo can resign today. We have an election coming up for a governor's seat, this coming November. So what Cuomo can do is he could resign today and he could rerun in November rather. Whether or not he'll do that, that's another story. He might. If he feels that he can brush this whole case off, he may very well be able to do that. So this is my thoughts on all this, is that, first of all, my heart goes out to these victims. Sadly, there's some Democratic people out there, liberals or whatever. Now, if you know me off of YouTube, I am as liberal comes. But I don't take sides in politics. I truly don't, because I think that's just, there are some points on the left and then there's some points on the right that I support. Like gun control. Listen, I can't tell you what to buy with your money. I can't. You want to buy an AK-47 or AR-15? I don't know what the hell you're going to do with it. As long as you're not shooting up a school, I don't really give a shit what you do with it, right? That's not my business. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. People say you can, go hunting with these guns. I don't know. What's in my business? It's your money. How am I going to tell you to spend your money? I can't, right? I can't tell you how to spend your money. As long as these guns are safe and your children are safe and my children are safe from your children, however, I do feel like if one thing I see, in regards to gun control, if you're a parent and one of your children is diagnosed with, some kind of mental defect, then maybe then in that case you would have to, turn your guns in. I think there's some level of gun control that needs to happen here. But again, I just feel like it's not my place to say what you can buy with your money. I bought this. I bought this today. You gonna tell me don't buy this? You're gonna tell me don't buy a keto magazine because keto is not a safe diet, according to some folks. I don't follow keto. I just use the recipes because they're low carb and things like that. New cooking videos coming soon. I can promise you that on my new channel, not this channel, because this channel will be my streaming channel for now. The new channel's doing great. Thank you, everybody. I think I'm almost up to 60 subscribers over there, and the views are wow. I think up to like 3,000 views on the new channel. Can you believe that? That's amazing. So, but there are, like I said, there are some things on the left that I don't agree with, and there's some things on the right I agree with. I think there was a while back they were talking about, controlling what people spend food stamps on. I think that needs to be a thing too, because, I mean, obesity is a disease in this country. It's a disease of the mind. It's no different than drug addiction or alcoholism, which is, a mental health issue. So, if, social services were to say, you know what? You could buy one packet of cookies and maybe a six-pack of soda, and that's it. That's it then. I mean, personally, I don't think you should have any of those things, but that's just my thoughts. My thoughtsy poo on that. So I don't have a thing against them controlling, toning down the idea of what you can buy, junk food wise. Um I mean, back in the day, you could use food stamps to buy cigarettes and things like that, but now it's not like that. Um, I still think, me personally, I still think it's stupid that you can't use food stamps. Oh, thank you, Joe. You're the sweetest. One thing I don't agree with in regards to food stamps is, like when you go to the grocery store and you want to buy one of those rotisserie chickens, you can't use your food stamps on that. That's kind of dumb because you could buy a rotisserie chicken, and by the time you get it home, it's going to be cold anyways. But the thing is, if you buy yourself one of those rotisserie chickens, right, you get the initial meal out of it. Sure, you don't have to cook it, but by the time you get it home, it's going to be kind of cold anyways, right? But you could take that chicken, right? You could get that meal out of it. You can make chicken salad with it afterwards. You can make soup. You can get a whole bunch of stuff out of that one chicken, and it's only $5. So I think that's it. I mean, I don't get food stamps. I make too much money to get food stamps. I'm disabled. That's the thing. Even if you're on disability, if you make too much money in disability, you cannot get food stamps. That's how it is here in New York. See, that's kind of an oxymoron, but whatever. I get by. I go to a store called Lidl here in New York. I don't think they have them on the West Coast there yet, but find your way to one. You're gonna love it. It's kind of like an Aldi's. And I'm going to do some video reviews of some things I got at Lidl this week. I got something really new to me. It's called a plum cot. Have you heard of a plum cot? I'm going to do a video. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I'm going to do a video review on a plum cot. And I got something called a donut peach. I've never heard of a donut peach, but I'm going to do a review on it because what the hell, why not, right? Maybe you want to know what's out there, fruit wise. And it was Asian week at Lidl as well. And I got some frozen meals I'll do some reviews on. My daughter, she's 13 years old, and she's absolutely obsessed with anything Asian there. They make some really good food, I'll tell you that. If you see my vlogs, I love to go to Koreatown. It's fun. There's a lot of stores there you might like. K-beauty is like on the rise because in Korea, I mean, I don't know if their stuff is really cruelty free or anything like that, but most of their products are very, very natural. They don't use chemicals like we do in this country, you know. But yeah, so I don't really like to do live streams or videos that are political like this. But it is breaking news, and it's definitely something at this point. And like I said, I'm as liberal comes. But the difference between me and other people, I feel, is that I hold my politicians accountable. And Cuomo is somebody who needs to be held accountable. Um, and most importantly, his victims. I mean, there are actually some folks out there, and I can't even believe it's going this way. There are some Democrat liberal folks who are actually playing this like, they're actually playing this out and saying that the victims were paid off or whatever. I mean, that's ridiculous, man. That's totally ridiculous. This is where double standards come in, and I don't like Trump, and I've made that very clear. I don't like Trump, but I also don't like Cuomo either, and I really truly mean that. That's the thing, is that I don't take sides in politics. but I consider myself a liberal, like as in like I don't there's too much stuff, there are too many policies on the right that I don't like. The pro-life stuff, and I don't support that, and I support the LGBTQ community because if you don't know, I'm actually a member of the LGBTQ community myself because I consider myself to be pansexual, which means if you don't know what pansexual is, that means I don't have a preference in in gender. But that doesn't mean I'm dating any ladies or anybody right now. So I don't support that, and I don't consider myself to be a racist. However, there are people, of course, on the right that I don't think are racist. Trump, though, he definitely wasn't it for me. However, however, since we're going to go that route, I do believe there are racists on the right side as well. I do believe Hillary Clinton is a racist. And I am not really a fan of Joe Biden at the moment either because he has stayed quite silent in regards to the Line 3 pipeline, which is going to interfere with the indigenous people's land. Hillary did the same when when Standing Rock was coming around, and that was not good. She stayed totally silent when they were looking to build that pipeline in Standing Rock. She was up for election and she stayed silent. That's why I refuse to vote for Hillary Clinton. And Joe Biden staying quite silent on Pipeline 3 right now as well, which is extremely disappointing in that sense. So I'm not happy about that. But see, as a person, yes, I do vote. I do partake in my civil duty there, and but you can't complain if you don't vote. So yeah, so in that sense, Joe Biden's just not for me. In the last election, I would not vote for Trump either. And as far as Cuomo goes, I've never voted for him a day in my life, and I never would. Last election, we had a choice between Andrew Cuomo, and there was a Republican. I don't know what his name was because we didn't even know who he was. you know, but we also had another a Democrat choice at that point in time. Her name was Cynthia Nixon. If you don't know who Cynthia Nixon is, she was on the TV show Sex and the City. We didn't really, I mean, I didn't really know a lot of her policies because she really wasn't, you know, hello, Lord GXK. Good morning, good afternoon. So I did not vote for Cuomo in the last election. Like I said, I'm as liberal comes, but I just could not do it. Cynthia Nixon came along and she offered to decriminalize marijuana. So that was it for me. And, you know, Cuomo didn't bring any of that up last time. He's been talking about it for a long time, and he's been dragging his feet on that. I do know part of that problem is the Long Island. See, this is what I need to explain to y'all. Now, I don't smoke marijuana. I just think it needs to be decriminalized. In fact, more than decriminalized, it just needs to be, you know, 100% legal. Now, let me explain New York. Everyone thinks the whole state of New York is Democrat, and it's not actually. So we have upstate New York, then we have New York City, which is the 5 boroughs, and then we have Long Island. The liberal part is New York City. The rest of it is actually quite red. My whole area where I live now is extremely conservative. So I don't talk to my neighbors. I don't. I don't. They don't wear masks. They don't believe in vaccines and things like that. In all fairness, I have to say Cuomo kind of, hey, low team running. Welcome. I mean, that's another thing is in regards to COVID and things like that. Cuomo, for the most part, did steer us pretty good, minus the nursing home thing. That was a mistake, you know. Um, I didn't like that at all. And he also really, and the group homes, nobody did anything for the group homes. In fact, it's funny that we keep talking about the nursing homes, but nobody talks about the group homes. It's like the mentally ill people and handicapped people don't matter throughout this whole COVID thing. So, as regards to this, whole mess, yeah, that's all he was saying is I, age 7. Yeah, yeah. I don't like Cuomo. I never liked him. He's done some really shitty things for the mentally ill people. So I think we talked about this in the last live. If you don't know, yeah, I didn't think he was go- I didn't think he was going to resign either. I thought this was going to go on a full-on impeachment. But like I said, if he resigns now and he's found innocent, he can run in the election. Well, actually, no, he can't because the election is like coming up, come November. So he can't. So somebody else, another Democrat's going to have to run in his place. Well, that's life. I don't like Cuomo. Like I said, I wouldn't vote for him. I just wouldn't do it last time. I mean, he has no remorse for the victims that have come forward. There was quite a few, wasn't it? Like eight ladies, 7 or 8. That's a pretty big number. And I have to say, I'm quite disappointed in any Democrat liberal that states that these women were paid off by Trump. That's wrong. Now that is wrong because if it was Trump, let's be honest here. If it was Trump, the right would say the same thing, and although the right says his allegations are old. Allegations, I don't care if they're new or old. If it happened, it happened. Like I said, for me, I don't care what side it is. Sexual harassment and sexual assault comes in all shapes and sizes, left and right. I don't really care who did it. If you did it, then you got to go. And that's my thoughts on Cuomo. Do I think he did it? Absolutely, 100%. When you see, the thing is, so now let me. Hello, Marie Santana. Haven't seen you in a while. Coming to troll me again, huh? Hmm. Hmm. Well, don't worry, Jacob's not here, so don't complain. So here's the thing. Like I said, for me, so when the whole Johnny Depp thing happened, right? We're gonna use Johnny Depp as a you know as an example here. So he had one. He's had only one. He's only had one accuser, right? His ex-wife. I'll be honest. I supported her at first because that's just what we do as women. We support those who allegate, domestic violence or things like that. But now you have Andrew Cuomo who has had 8 people come forward. That's a pretty big number. We also have what's his name? Marilyn Manson has a very large number of women coming forward and accusing him of what as well. So, it does, numbers do matter. When there's a very low number, like one, I mean, you still have to give them the benefit of the doubt. You have to give the victim the benefit of the doubt until, innocent and proven guilty as for the rapists. Um, Team Running, you are spamming my chat and you're about to be removed. So please stop doing that. I just got locked out of my channel. Uh, So, have I ever had sex with a woman? No. Well, I mean, I had a girlfriend when I was like 13 years old. If that makes any sense. But, we were in a group, we were in a, so, yeah. So, I actually do believe that Marilyn Manson is indeed guilty. You know, Marilyn Manson, I think, is guilty. And Cuomo, I think, is guilty too. Him resigning is the best thing he could do for, New York. You know, if he really truly did this, which I think he did, then hopefully all these victims will get their, um, you know, they're gonna get some level of uh, justice. New York's gonna get justice too. Although, what I find to be interesting about this is if he indeed did, he is guilty of the nursing home thing. I'm kind of surprised that hasn't come forward. I mean, this is not that case. This is a totally different case. But that's kind of shocking. You know, um, I mean, hopefully, I guess they're going to have to do a trial of that of some sorts. So, that's what that's all about at this point. But I would assume that they're going to have to do something about, the nursing home thing because all those families deserve some level of justice. Although the for me the nursing home thing is a 50-50 because Cuomo might have sent those people to those nursing homes. Yes. But the nursing homes also allow those people to come in. So I feel like there's a 50-50 there. If there was no room at the inn or they didn't feel comfortable taking these patients, the nursing home could have stood up for their patients. Money played a big role there, in my opinion. But no, there's been no say about the group homes either. I don't know why anyone's not saying none of these people are worried about the group homes. The group homes got screwed in all this too. I have a friend who has family members in the group home, and what they're doing is they have to because the employees of the group home cannot afford to get tested every week. Tested frequently to make sure they don't have COVID and bring it back to the patients in the group home. They were making the group home um, tenants go get tested weekly. Now, if you don't know what a group home is, this is a home for severely handicapped people, many of which are severely autistic, nonverbal autistic, Down syndrome, and things like that. People who just don't know and understand what COVID is. And to get that test like that every week is ridiculous. And I think that's quite abusive and invasive because, so that way the group home employees can go out and live their life, live La Vida Loca, and bring it back to these people. I think that's ridiculous, if you ask me. But there's been no say as to what's going on in the group homes. The nursing home people do need, the nursing homes do need the people, and they're definitely 100% need justice. I agree on that, but there has to be some level of justice for the group homes. As as far as I know, if you don't get a vaccine, oh, there has been saliva tests. Oh yeah, they also said there's one for booty holes too, right? I mean, I guess a booty hole is better than going in the nose. I don't know. I don't think it's fair that the people in the group homes had to get tested all the time. I think that's pure cruelty, in my opinion. Because then the group home employees can go out and do whatever the hell they want, and it's that's not right. That's not right at all. I mean, sure, you have a right to live your life and all that jazz, but when it affects others like that, that's cruelty. That's selfish. You know. How about that baby? Did you all hear? Did you see the news about that 11-month-old baby in Texas? The baby has COVID and their hospital is full, and they had to fly her an hour away to find her a bed. 11 months old. I don't know what to say to that. That's pretty sad. Oh, I hope she makes it. You know, we got to do something about this because this is a disaster. But I'm not going to get into COVID because that gets me into trouble on YouTube. But as far as Cuomo goes, I'm down for his resignation, and I hope he doesn't come back. I hope he doesn't come back. Oh, that's no problem, Joe. Have a good day at work. But I think that Cuomo going is a good thing. He's done some really shitty things, in my opinion. You know, I talked about this in my last live. I think it was yesterday morning. We were talking about how, if you don't know, back in the day, in the early days, like early late 1800s, 1900s, they had these big, yeah, yeah, politicians are creepy. They are age 7. They feel like they got all this power. I think women are going to submit to that, or they have to, or else. But it's not just in politics. I mean, look at Hollywood. Hollywood's an epic disaster. That's what Corey Feldman was, you know, uh, you know, bringing forth is the Hollywood stuff. Where's did that all of a sudden go down the drain? And the stuff about Hollywood, you know, there's pedophilia and things. Yeah, keep your hands to yourself. And mothers and fathers need to teach their sons that too. You need to teach your sons and your daughter, and you need to teach your daughters, too. But you know, we just need to keep our hands to yourself. It's exactly it. Whatever happened to if you break it, you bought it. You know. I don't know if I told you guys, my daughter's getting severely bullied in school. Racially charged stuff. They told my daughter to go back to Mexico. First of all, my daughter's not even Mexican. She's not even half Mexican. She's half Puerto Rican. Okay. But these kids, they're being taught this by their parents, of course. What would happen? This is what I keep thinking to myself is what would happen if parents had to pay, for damages that their children cause when they bully somebody else? I think parents would do a lot better if they knew that they had to pay a fine. Or better yet, not a fine, so to speak. They should have to pay the mental health care and whatever other damages come about when their child bullies another child. It's not it's everyone says, well, why don't you teach these kids to defend themselves? Because when they do defend themselves, they're the ones who get punished. And why should we have to defend ourselves from a bully? If your kid didn't say something racist like that, like build the wall or go back to Mexico, no problem. Those are things that right. That's exactly at age 7. And the thing is, in the end, in schools, in public schools, or any school for that matter, bullies are the ones that are rewarded, not the kid they bully. Exactly. That's exactly it. Age 7. Could you imagine what it's like being a parent like me right now? Actually, our kids don't go back to school till September, but imagine what it's like, thinking about putting your child on the bus, going to school. They're supposed to learn. But at the end of the day, it's That's not what's happening here. That's ridiculous. Your kids aren't safe at school because, the teachers, first of all, our learning system is ridiculous. You know, we got this Common Core bullshit that is hard to teach, hard to learn, never mind teach it. And then, they don't have, the teachers don't have, they'll say they don't have eyes behind their head or whatever it is. But the thing is, at the same time, the school needs to do something about it too. It definitely is sad. Well, the way things are going with this, what do you call it? This COVID, this variant thing, kids are getting up on virtual learning any moment now too, because this new COVID is going after all the kids. The original one got all the old people, and most of the old people who are smart got the vaccine or wear their mask or whatever it is that they do, keep themselves safe. So now it's it is H7. I was severely bullied as a kid, severely, not because of race or anything like that, but I was severely bullied to the point where I had to go get help. You know, but then again, my mom worked for the school. Yeah, yeah, definitely H7. And the thing is, the way it worked here for me is, you know, my mom worked for the school district. The kids who were really bullying me were children of her coworkers. Yeah, right, right, exactly. H7. The people who bullied me were children of my mom's coworkers, and the thing with school with my the school district is, if you're a child of a parent who works for the school district, they automatically get a job. That's how unfair the system is. The school district, that school district is actually the highest paid school district in the nation. You don't get what you pay for. The teachers suck because, like I said, if all you have to do is go to college and get a teaching degree, which isn't easy, of course. I'm not going to downplay that. But if your parent works in the school district, you automatically have a job, which is an unfair advantage. And that's how the school district is not getting good teachers. And usually those ones are children of racist people, you know. So I hear that, H7, I hear that. But, you know, so that's the problem. You know, this whole thing is a mess. But now, like I said, my daughter, we live in a town, and and here's the other thing is, these stupid groups on Facebook for your township, they have these town watchdog type groups. You go in there, right? And, yeah, I hear that, H7. Definitely some systemic injustice for sure. But you go into these township groups, like these town watchdog groups, right? And I mentioned something about, Isabel getting bullied at the school. And you know what these people say? Oh, well, nothing's changed. What the fuck? You know why nothing's changed? Because you're racist. Your parents were racist. And now the cycle of racism continues because you think that this is okay. My town, they were voting on changing the name of the school, because it's called the Red Man, which is racist to indigenous people. The people here don't want that. It's racist to indigenous people. They don't want you using that term. You know, you have to listen to people. Yeah, look at life is. I know everybody's screaming and yelling and jumping up and down about if people are offended these days. I don't know. I think it's better to just listen and think about how we fix it rather than just say, stop being so offensive. Just listen to the people, for Christ's sake. Especially the indigenous people. I mean, look what we're doing to them. They're the ones getting screwed all the time. I mean, look right now. This is what I keep saying, is that you can't trust either side of politics, right? Currently, we have the problem with, the pipeline 3. Yay, peace, love, and happiness, right? That's what we got going on right now, is that we have this new pipeline they're trying to build right through another supposedly this pipeline's supposed to go through a reservation here in the States as well, all the way up to Canada. And these gas pipelines, I mean, come on, let's be honest, they never work out. They always leak. That's what the indigenous people, that's what the indigenous people at the Sioux Nation, they didn't want. They didn't want, you know, standing rock because they knew it would leak. And the thing is, if it leaked, it would leak into the waterways, which is something that they use as well as other community, other people in that community would use. And that's exactly what happened. What they said would happen, but that is their land. It was their land that we were trying to take. Now, Obama was still president when that happened, and Hillary was up for election, and she stayed completely silent during that whole time. She was asked about what she thought about Standing Rock, and she refused to answer the question. The only person who was running at that time who acknowledged what was going on at Standing Rock was Bernie Sanders. Hillary didn't say a damn thing. Oh, actually, what's her name did too. The third party, I forget her name, but we didn't have any third party this time around, which is shocking. But so yeah, what's her name? I forget. The one for the Green Party. She was well, I don't know what to believe about her, um but now we have this pipeline 3 that's going to go, between it's going to go through one nation and to another nation, up to Canada, which is another, indigenous tribe. And Biden's silent, and and Justin Trudeau. Where are these people? Do these people not care? Yeah, I hear that, H7. That's true, H7. That was the whole downside to being trapped at home with this whole, pandemic, is that a lot of kids, who couldn't go to school, that they were virtual, they faced the possibility of child abuse. So Biden says nothing about stopping pipeline 3. Justin Trudeau, where the hell are you? I don't like Justin Trudeau. Just I don't like him. I don't like him. Sorry. But see, that's the thing. That's the magical thing, is you don't have to take sides in politics. You could like policies on the left and you could like policies on the right, but the person who's representing those policies still sucks ass. Sorry, Biden, you suck. You know, but that's how it works. That's how it works. I mean, this country, it all boils down to two choices, right? There's the left and the right, and there's nothing in between. But yeah, here we are on YouTube. You know, I say I don't support Trump. I don't support Biden either. I support neither side. But there are people out there who just over two people who don't give a shit about you. I mean, that's the thing. That's the other thing. Is that I don't understand why we fight over these people. They don't really care about you. You're nothing but a number and money and dollar signs and such. You know, something that came to realization. My aunt worked for the state for 30 something years. She was a psychiatric nurse, physician's assistant for one of the state psych wards here. And something that she made very clear is, while the right side doesn't want the mentally ill or handicapped people to have access to freebies, the left, they want you to have these freebies as a form of control and a way to make you vote for these people. Because, I don't know, I talked about how I'm moving to Florida and things like that. Now, Florida, they try to do their best to make their handicapped people as productive as productive comes. Here in New York, that's not how that is. They want us to be, dependent on services. So it's easy to control us. However, we have a lot of homeless people, but that's a whole nother conversation. At the same time, we have Cuomo selling off all these properties that were once, for mentally ill people to, the Mets and such like that. He uses us and abuses us too, just like any other politician. You can never take, honestly, I don't, I take what the big people say with a grain of salt. You know, governor, meh. President, meh. It's the people underneath these higher ups. Those are the ones you gotta, you can rely on. Like I said, I have a friend who is a senator, and he's a Republican, and anything I need at all, I have no problem giving him a call. When my housing people tried to say I could not have a service dog, he was the person I called. My grandmother worked for the town government, and everyone who worked at that time, a requirement for the job. If you wanted to work for the town government, you had to be registered Republican. That doesn't mean you had to vote Republican, because that's not your business who they vote for. But I guess it was their business as to who, as to what you're registered as. I didn't even know that was legal, but I guess at one point it was. You know, but yeah. So that's the thing is, I mean, we sit here on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and whatever else, and we fight over two sides of people who just don't give a crap about us. I don't understand it. I will never understand why we keep doing that. These people don't care about us. Michael Jackson made a whole damn song about it. He made three different versions of the music video. These people don't care about us. They care about money and ratings and shit. What's his name did a video about that too. What was it? Russell Brand. He did a whole video on politics and and what was it? It was after the tragedy in Paris when they went after the airport in Paris, right? Airport or train station, whatever it was a few years ago, right? And something that Russell Brand said was the evil people. You know what I'm saying? The evil people. Their slogan is "We love death more than you love life," right? So Russell Brand, hey Ryan, I know. I'm actually really happy I did. How come you don't have a wrench? That's weird. Let me see here. I have this swapped. Hold on one second. That's the thing, is that these evil people out there, they say that they love death more than we love life. So something we need to do. Hey Ron. So something we need to do is we need to love life more and love one another more. You know, because that's what they say. That's what these evil people say. So as regards to Cuomo goes, though, I'm kind of glad. Like I said. So in regards to Cuomo, if he resigns, I'm glad you found me though, Ryan. I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't been live in a while because I've been afraid. Can I be honest with y'all? After everything that happened with you know who, I became afraid to do YouTube. But now I have to just, stand up for myself. You know, I'm doing okay, Ron. How are you doing? How are you feeling today? I'm still really sad, to be honest. And I'm sure you're really having a rough go at it. That was just last week was like I said earlier this last week I said if last week was the week that everything bad could happen, it just did. It just did. There was just like so much shit last week. It just wouldn't stop. It just wouldn't stop, man. Everyone says, I mean, I'm not Catholic or Christian or anything like that. I'm glad you're doing okay, Ron. I've been thinking about you. The religious folks, they like to say God gives us what we can handle. Well, I mean, I guess I'm not on his team or anything like that, but Jesus Christ, I have my plate is quite full at the moment, so stop putting more stuff on my plate, man. Last week was bad. I went and got a new phone, which, that's great. I needed a new phone. But then I got locked out of my channel. Well, now I'm not locked out of my channel because, after like 4 or 5 days, they finally let me back in. But the new channel is doing really great, so I guess there's a win there. I think I'm already up to like 3,000 uh, views already over there. That's not too shabby in a week. 3,000 views in a week. Tell you what, if you don't do YouTube Shorts, you got to. It really does help. I don't have 3,000 subscribers over there. Well, I got locked out of my channel. I had court that just didn't go the way I wanted it to. You know, that's how that works. It's not a bad answer. The court wasn't a bad answer. It's just, jamming me up on time. But that could be easily resolved. You know, and then some other things. I don't know if Ron is okay with me letting you guys know. But you can go onto his channel and you'll know what happened last week. And my heart is very heavy about that. You know, I me and a few other people have been talking about things, and last week was just rough. It was just a rough week. You know, this week so far so good. So far so good. I like to keep it that way. But then again, life throws curveballs at me that's just the way my life is. And this is why I have to leave New York. I feel like I need to just run away. It's not running away from my problems. It's just I need space. I need space from my problems. Um, you know, I just need a new start. I just need fresh. I just need winter going to bring peace. I think so. That's hopefully when I'm going to leave here. Hopefully winter is when I'm going to leave here. You know, I'm just, it's just, hey, Lewis, how are you? Good to see you, my good friend Lewis. You guys don't have Lewis. He's the most adorable little guy here on YouTube, you know. Okay, Ron, I just want to be respectful and things like that. But so H7, if you're not aware, our dear friend Gina passed away last week. Um, I'm just, it took me a few cries. Just, she danced her way into our lives. That's the way I like to say it. She danced her way into our lives. She was, I mean, she was just, she really lit up YouTube and TikTok. You know, she really did. She just had like the most positive attitude I've ever seen. And, for me, I had just, lost all this weight. And I mean, deep down, I still feel like, I'm not, I might be thin like on the outside, but on the inside, I'm still like, I still got that fat brain. It still exists. But something, when Gina came along and she did that get up challenge, I said, gosh, I gotta do that. I gotta do that with her. I think that's what I'm gonna do, Ron. What do you think? We should do like a dance thing in her honor, because, that was a big thing for Gina. Thank you for watching ads, Lewis. I appreciate it. That's it. She danced her way into our lives, and I can't even believe it. I have a lot of regrets in my life, and one of them was, as I call it, taking. Oh, you're not familiar with Gina? Gina's life? Oh, she was. I'm sorry you missed out on her. She was a beautiful person. She's still a beautiful person, and I got a lot to say about the rest of it there. Um, so I got a lot of regrets in my life, and some of the regrets in my life, as I call it, putting the bet on the wrong pony. When you guys left the group, I have to be honest, I felt really awful. I said, I think I made the wrong choice. But then, this person, gang mentality and Hitler mentality is the same thing. And I am really advocating for people. If you feel like someone is telling you to not be around people for whatever reason, or they pull you aside, or, you know, remember the arm, what's that arm, the stretch thing. There's remember the stretch doll. Was that Louis Armstrong or Louis? I forget what you remember. You remember back in the day it was a thing. the stupid arm was probably made of silly putty or whatever it was, and you pull it from side to side. That's how I felt. That's how I felt for the last 2 years. And if you don't know, Gina was on. Thank you for the like, Lewis. You're the best. If you don't know, Gina was on My 600 Pound Life, and I have to be honest. Ever since her episode, I watched it, of course, and I said, "This, there's something terribly wrong with this episode. They totally misrepresenting her all around." Yeah, Stretch Armstrong. That's who it was. Yeah, that's how I felt for the last 2 years. I feel free, now that I'm not in that group. Although Misery Loves Company, they tried contacting me last week, and I'm making it very clear: don't contact me ever again. Anyone from that group, do not. I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to be in a relationship with you. Leave me alone. I don't care. We're not going to be friends ever, ever. I'm in a good place, and I do not want to go back to the bad place. So do not contact me ever again. Last week was an eye opener. I don't want to miss out on good people because of bad people. That's all I'm going to say. But I remember watching the episode. I was like, gee, there's a lot of wrongness in this episode. Someone needs to do an expose on TLC. I keep saying that. Not much, H7. The court is backing me up, as in backed up. It's like a little slow. So I'm just waiting on. That's what's holding me back is the court. But I think there needs to be an expose on TLC. Something is very wrong with their channel. They support Josh Duggar, who molested his own sisters, right? But yet they have people on this other show, My 600 Pound Life, or Tammy. I got a lot to say about Tammy, and I'm going to say it because that's what I'm going to do. So, if they took all this money that they're wasting on supporting Josh Duggar and his shitty family, they could put it towards, paying these people properly, or they just don't want to, but they want to exploit people for cash, and that's what's wrong. That's what's up with TLC. A few months ago, somebody commented on there's a show called 1,000 Pound Sisters, and I have fallen deeply in love with Tammy. I if you guys if you know I had weight loss surgery, so I know the whole process and how to get the surgery and how it all goes. But this show the 600 Pound Life and the TLC and Tammy's life or whatever, they're so quick to pick someone in the family, naming them as the enabler. When is TLC going to take ownership for them enabling these people on the side? I've lost all respect for Dr. Nowzardan because I think he's in on all this crap. But Tammy from 1,000 Pound Sisters a few months ago, somebody commented something. They're always rude to her on TikTok. They're always rude to her. And then when she fights back, they like, whoa, Tammy, don't talk to me like that. No, you don't. Could you imagine? Okay, being on this TV show, right? The 1,000 Pound Sisters. I'm going to use Tammy as an example because I really do like her. I feel I have like a big heart for her, right? So imagine being on the show that makes you look really bad, and in reality, maybe you're not that bad. Okay. First of all, Tammy, you know, sure she hasn't gotten her weight loss surgery yet, but look what they're doing to this girl. Look what they're doing to this girl. What they're now filming season number 3, right? So they're squeezing at least 3, 4 seasons out of her. They want her to fail. They want Tammy. Uh-oh, did I get shut down? Okay. They want to get as many seasons out of Tammy as possible. When she slips up or somebody in My 600 Pound Life slips up, they like that. They like that because it's good for their TV show. They don't care what's good for these people. They don't care what's good for these people. I'm sorry. As soon as I saw the way things have been going, I canceled my Discovery Plus subscription. I want nothing to do with it. I do not support this channel. I had weight loss surgery myself, and the way that this whole thing, am I back? Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. My internet's kind of shitty. But, that's exactly it. TLC should be called the Let's Exploit People for Cash channel, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're exploiting these people for cash. So Tammy was on TikTok. I mean, bless her heart, because she is, she's getting comments that are rude and nasty all the time. There are people who are being rude and nasty to her. There's people on YouTube here who make video assumptions about her, that she's either dead or dying. She's dating this guy, this guy, this guy. The big thing was she had soda. She didn't have a soda. She had that ice drink, and she didn't have weight loss surgery, so she could have that stupid ice drink. I mean, it's carbonated. You can't have it after surgery, but before surgery, who the hell cares? It's a diet drink. It's not soda. It has 0 calories to it. It's got no sugar to it. Yet people are making video assumptions about the poor girl, and that's what they're doing. So imagine, if you will, you're posting videos on YouTube or TikTok or whatever it is, and you got these stupid ass gossip channels saying whatever they want to say about you, and then you have to defend yourself every damn time somebody makes some false allegation about you. That's no life to live. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. And the show makes these people look really bad. They make them really bad, and they get paid for it. So somebody was harassing Tammy on TikTok because her phone, something about her phone. She apparently didn't have a newer phone or whatever. I don't even know, why do you even care about that? The girl has a phone. She doesn't, she's disabled for one, and she came back and said, "Well, I don't make a lot of money doing this show." She said it. She said exactly what I just said. Is that she said, "I don't make a lot of money doing this show. TLC makes all the money. I make nothing. I make nothing." Tammy said it herself while they're filming season 3 of the Thousand Pound Sisters. I mean, if she gets fired from the show, I mean, I hope that's not what happens, but maybe she'd be better off without the show, and she could do it better on her own, because she doesn't need these toxic people. Toxic people come in many forms. It comes in friends, it comes in family, it comes in employers. I mean, I guess in a sense, TLC is her employer. I did notice that her TikTok is not on right now, unless if she's doing well and things like that. But that's my thoughts on TLC. Is the way that they treat these people is disgusting. It's flat out disgusting. And you know what? I've seen some videos here on YouTube exploiting Gina and other people, and I think that's just wrong. That's just so wrong. If you don't know how weight loss surgery works or food addiction, you have no right to comment on anybody's progress. Okay, food addiction is real. It's a mental addiction, just like drug addiction and alcohol addiction is. And I feel like when TLC picks these people up for these shows, right? Okay, they're, first of all, they're not even shown the full proper progress process to get surgery. In order to get weight loss surgery, you must pass a cardiac, neurological. What else? You got cardiac, neurological. You have to have sonograms on your veins. You have to have a clearance from pulmonologist, and you have to have the most important one is the mental health. They totally miss out on the mental health on the show, or they come to it later on, when it's too late. But you should be in mental health treatment from the very get-go of the process, because there's three case scenarios. You either won't get the surgery, that's one. Two, you'll get the surgery, and you won't fix the problem that causes you to have a food addiction, and then you'll go back to it, and then you'll gain the weight back, because it is possible to gain weight back. It might be difficult, but it definitely can happen. Or with weight loss surgery patients, something that's very common for weight loss surgery patients is a transfer addiction. You could transfer your food addiction to drugs and alcohol, and then you're in a bigger problem than you were to begin with. You know what I mean? So I think the show is a poor representation of getting weight loss surgery, and it exploits these people, and that is wrong. To me, that is just flat out wrong. And then you got people on here on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook who think that they know everything, and they think that they know how this whole thing works, but they truly don't. They truly don't. They never walked in the shoes of these people. These people are desperate, and that's what the show is. I think that's where it comes along, is the show that knows that these people are indeed desperate and they want to take advantage of that. That's my thoughts on TLC. I think it's the let's exploit people for cash channel. But yet, there are people out there who are praying for Josh Duggar, who molested his sisters, and now he's in possession of kitty porn, some of which is some of the worst. They said was in the top five worst images they've ever found on someone's laptop. One video was in which of a 18-month-old child. Hey, Simon, you know that's the type of stuff that TLC is okay. What they're okay with. They're okay with exploiting people with other issues, but yet they'll keep this guy going because whatever else. There are actually people out there. There are churches out there who are praying for Josh Duggar. But where's the prayers for his victims? There's no prayers for the victims. None. They don't care about the victims. They were children. They were children. He molested his own sisters, and he downloaded kitty porn. Children. He was looking at children. So anyone who wants to pray for Josh Duggar, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. And that's why the church sucks. you know, that's how I look at it. Organized religion is such a problem. What's his name? Simon Birch. In the movie Simon Birch. What is it he said? He said faith has no floor plan. You don't have to have a church to have faith. Hold on 1 second, guys. Gotta find the charger for my laptop. Okay. You see, that's what I mean. But you got. I don't know. To me, I'm not really a big fan of reality TV. I don't like reality TV because it's not real. It's really not real. It's not. It's maybe it's not scripted, but it's egged on in the background, and that's not what's okay. And I feel like, in that sense, you know, there was a problem. And anyone who wants to exploit someone like that, and then you have channels here on YouTube, who are now saying what they want to say about the whole situation now too. That's not nice. We can't live like this. Oh, thank you, Lewis. I appreciate it. So that's just my thoughts on all that. You know, as a kid, what was the first reality show? Oh, the Osbournes. I used to watch the Osbournes. But now look, they're not good people now too. They're saying that she's a racist. She's a racist. Ozzy is like, uh-oh. Ozzy's got problems now. Whatever. What a mess. What a mess. That little crab from The Little Mermaid, when he said the human race is a mess, he wasn't lying. It really wasn't. But I just can't. I can't. I didn't want to say anything, too much about what was going on before now, but because, there's here, as soon as they found out that, Gina had passed away, they were posting videos. Some were nice. I'll be honest. There were some that were nice, and there were some that were, well, God help your soul, because you are going to hell for what you said. Stay out of it, man. No respect for the family or the life lost. I don't appreciate that. But I think I'm going to do a dancey dance video in honor of Gina. That was terribly sad last week. It really was. This past 2 years it's been trying, man, between, mental health related issues and other things going on. You know, it's just, I guess some people just haven't learned, you know. There's a video, I think there's a video on TikTok. I don't know if it's an actual, I don't know if it's a trailer for an actual film. I think it is. Who's voicing that? Jeff Gordon? That actor from the what's that movie? Fly Away Home. Remember him? Let me see if I can get the name here. There's a video on TikTok running around. I think it might be a Jeff Daniels. Okay, Jeff Daniels. Yes. Let me see if it actually is. No, I don't see anything. So Jeff Daniels voiced this this video. It's running around on TikTok. It's about, things that are going on. The video opens up, right? The video opens up to 9/11, right? Because when 9/11 happened, we all came together and, put our differences aside, left, right, black, white, brown, whatever. We all put our differences aside and we came together as a nation. There was no, hate. Well, I mean, there was some hatred, of course, but for the most part, we weren't like this, where we were completely divided over a damn virus, you know. And so it starts out like that. The video starts out, we're going to talk about 9/11 and how we came together and all that stuff. And then it talks about how we messed this whole virus thing up, not supporting one another and wearing the mask and vaccines and whatnot, you know. So, that's disappointment of life is, there's that issue. You know, I feel like if you don't want the vaccine, okay, but at the very least, about wearing the mask. There's children out there who are, there's a video on TikTok. I think they said the little boy was what, 11 years old? 11? Was he? Oh, 9. He was 9. And he was strapped up in a whole bunch of, you know, devices there. Could you imagine that? Your child being strapped up? You don't know if your child's going to live because you can't be there with them. If your child has COVID, let me just explain something to you. If your child has COVID, you can't go in the room with them. There's nobody that can be there with them. You know, especially if you have COVID too. You know, I can't imagine having to send Jacob to the hospital by himself to deal, to battle out COVID. That would be horrible. You know, imagine that. No, it doesn't. Well, I don't know H7. You're right. I don't. But I believe what I'm being told that we need the vaccine. You know, hey, you still get the virus? Absolutely. There's nothing 100%. Let me explain something to y'all. I had Lyme disease at the age of 10. Badly. I had a very, very bad case of Lyme disease. Okay. Hey, how are you? NFL boy Brandon. Long time no see, my doll. How are you doing? So, when I was 10 years old, I had very bad Lyme disease. It was actually a new virus at the time. It wasn't something that they knew a whole lot about. You know, this was back in 99, 19, no, this was back in 19, I was in the 6th grade, so it was probably 1996, 96, 97, I had it, right? I was in the hospital for what, a whole week, and I was home on IV treatments for 6 weeks. That's how bad I had Lyme disease. Now, the difference between Lyme disease and COVID is that it's not an airborne disease. It's something that, comes from a tick. But shortly thereafter, I am doing quite well. I'm glad you're doing well, Brandon. I know I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen much of anybody in a while because I haven't been doing lives too much, but I'm going to go back to doing it more often. I have two channels now because I got locked out of this one for a week. But as a result of that, I've decided that this channel will be my streaming channel and the new channel will be the content channel. Or maybe, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what happens if I put content on both. I'm going to test it out and see which one does better. But so far, content on the new channel is really great. So, in regards to the Lyme disease, okay, shortly after I contracted this virus. Now, if you have Lyme disease once, you can get it again. It's just like COVID. You can get it again later on. It's not airborne though. Lyme disease is not airborne. You must get bit by a tick. However, once you have it in your system, because Lyme disease never leaves your system. Okay, it'll never leave your system. It's stuck there. They can't get it out, but it'll stay in remission, right? Okay. So at that rate, in order for me to get reinfected, I would have to, get bit by a tick. A tick. It doesn't have to be an infected tick. It has to be a tick. Okay. So back then, just like COVID's new, right? Lyme disease was new. So shortly thereafter, they did come up with a vaccine for Lyme disease. I know. Oh, I'll drop the link for the new one. Hold on one second. 1 second. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, I can do it from here. Oh, wait. Realize I can't do that. Okay. So just like COVID, Lyme disease is very new. It wasn't, it is a very crippling disease, and it does have long-term side effects, just like COVID may have or may not have, depends on you. Um, so what happens is they came out with a vaccine for Lyme disease back then. Shortly after I had gotten, you know, um, shortly after I had, gotten through it and all that jazz. Okay. But again, this was a new virus that people didn't really know much about then either. Okay. So with that said, um, wait a minute. Oh, so with that said, hey, Princess Bay, how are you guys doing today? So with the Lyme disease, they came out with the vaccine. Again, it was a virus that they didn't really know much about back then either. Okay, so they came up with a vaccine. It ended up being flawed. Okay, I'll be honest, it was flawed. You know, years later, they said it wouldn't last for a long time. You probably would need another one. And then they decided that a lot of people weren't getting it, so they pulled it off the market. I'm doing quite well, Princess Bay. Yeah, a lot better today. I went to Walmart for a little bit this morning. I picked up a new magazine. Ooh. Ron, you still here? We should do some like collabs. I know you don't do. I know you don't do keto, Ron, but I love this stuff. I don't do keto either, to be honest, but my diet is primarily, um, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it. I do primarily uh, high protein, low carb, low fat. Keto is the opposite. It's actually high fat, high protein, low carb. Kind of, I think it's like an Atkins. But these aren't cheap. I tell you, how much was this thing? $13. Magazines aren't the same price as they were back in the day. But I think they do this instead of making cookbooks. Who's buying cookbooks other than me these days? Um, I have a pretty good collection of cooking light books, cookbooks. I'm going to start using those for cooking videos instead of other things. But so yes, back to that. So back in the day when Lyme disease was coming around, they actually did have a vaccine trial, and my parents because of the fact that I did have Lyme disease that bad. And Lyme disease is something similar to COVID where you may or may not know exactly where you got it from. You can go to the nature preserve and there might not be any ticks that are infected, or you could be in your own backyard and have 100 ticks that are, infected. Lyme disease can come anywhere from anywhere. You know, I never had a bullseye rash or seen a tick on my skin ever. I found it when my knee looked like this, 10 years old. Okay. So, and I actually had to have my knee tapped twice in 12 hours because they messed it up. So they did come out with the vaccine for Lyme disease. And whether it worked or not, I can't tell you. But it did exist. I feel like at this point, with this COVID thing, listen, the vaccine was rushed. I'll be honest, it was rushed because they had to. They had no choice, right? Unfortunately, life has tough choices in it. And this was one of those things. You know, we have to take the risk and make something to try to contain this some way, somehow, right? Especially now that this COVID thing is coming after our children. There's children in the hospital, you know. I got the Moderna vaccine, and so far, so good. So far, so good. And, if anything, everyone says, oh, well, the flu has taken a break. That's because we're all wearing masks, I don't know. Listen, I'm a veterinary assistant. I'm not a medical provider by any means, but I do believe in science, and I do and I don't support medicine. There are some forms of medicine I don't believe in, like psychiatric medication. I think there needs to be a change there. I also say that there's no magical pill for everything, and that's true. We can't medicate everything in the world because you see all these commercials like, oh, with all the lawyers saying if you get this, this, and this, or like me, I was drugged up as a kid for mental health related issues, and I have what's called tardive dyskinesia. Tardive dyskinesia is tremors, in the body, and one way to treat that, the only way they treat tardive dyskinesia when I was first diagnosed with it, they wanted to give me a benzo, and I said no, I do not want to take a medicine to counteract a side effect from other medication because then I'm going to need a medication to counteract the side effect of the benzo, and then it's a whole like downward spiral. I mean, big pharma is a big money making thing. It really is. I mean, let's be honest. It's pretty big, you know. But in regards to the vaccine, listen, this thing is probably flawed up the yin yang somewhere along the line. They're not 100%. But if it slows it down just a little bit, so we can catch our breath and get people, you know, in a better place, sometimes we just have to do what we have to do. I mean, look yeah, dangerous poison. Yeah, exactly. That's why I had weight loss surgery and a whole bunch of other things is the psychiatric medications. Now, I'm not going to pill shame anybody in any way, shape, or form. If you feel like you need that kind of, level of treatment, I mean, by all means, that's your choice. I choose not to accept that kind of treatment because that's not what everybody needs. I mean, Jacob, he's kind of in a tough case scenario because that's what they do with parents. They bully parents into believing their children needs this, this, and this. Okay, mental health care is a forever business. Once you're diagnosed with a mental illness, you are a forever patient. So they think. You know what I mean? So stand up for yourself and stand up for your children. Not everything needs to be medicated. I mean, sure, are there things out there that you might have that need medication? Sure. Don't you don't you wonder what life would be like if we went back to the time where herbal treatment was a thing? I kind of wonder how life would be if we went back to herbal treatments. I mean, hemp oil, CBD, marijuana. That's a good medication right there. It does solve a lot of troubles. I do believe in that. I believe in that more so than anything. you know. But, listen, there's no magical pill. Yeah. Oh, wow, you could do both? I know you could do both there, Joe. Yeah, I got the Moderna. My parents had the Pfizer. My daughter, she's 13 years old. She has the Pfizer and she's doing well. Jacob is too young, unfortunately, to get the vaccine. So he's not, eligible for that. But I can tell you what the side effect is if your child isn't vaccinated, okay? Other than the obvious, okay? So back in May, just before school ended, someone on Jacob's bus tested positive for COVID. Lo and behold, what has to happen there is he then has to quarantine for 10 days. It's now 10 days. It's not 14 days anymore. So then he has to quarantine for 10 days. That means he loses out on school. Now, if he loses out on school, he loses out on services. You know, he loses out on speech, PT, OT, whatever, his services that he gets in the home, he loses that as well. And that's not good for Jacob, you know. Yeah, I hear that, Joe. I will be traveling to Florida soon myself, and I actually am a little afraid. A little bit, just a little bit. But I mean, listen, I'm afraid to go to 7-Eleven some mornings. I went to I went to my 7-Eleven to get a cup of coffee a few weeks ago, and a whole truck of landscapers came in. They not one of them had a mask on. I had my mask on to go get my coffee, and they said, let's spot the liberal." I was actually afraid for my safety at that rate. My daughter, she was in school, and a lovely child, Amy, Amy, this girl Amy, who was in her seventh grade math class. I tell you that age 7. Well, personally, I think a lot of this, what's going on is Mother Earth. She's fighting back. Although, do I believe that COVID came from bats, from eating bats? No, I do not believe that theory. I do believe this was created in a lab, and a part of me feels like there is a possibility of this was on purpose somewhere along the line. Whether it was China or something else, I don't know. That's why we'll never, unfortunately, there's no investigation to find out where it's coming from. Oh, I hope you have a good time. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine wanting to get out of Texas there, my good friend Ryan. I'm going to Florida soon to go look around and see what it's all about down there. I'm a little afraid because they are pretty open about things there, you know. I mean, them saying that you can't come eat at the restaurant without a COVID vaccine card. I mean, I feel like, you know, if it keeps people safe, everyone's talking about how nobody wants these jobs at, these public service jobs, like a Walmart, the grocery store, Dunkin' Donuts. I can understand why they wouldn't want it because they're at a high risk. That's right. Lewis is also from Texas. Lewis is a great person. Hopefully, you guys are friends with my good friend Lewis. But that's another thing is these people don't want these jobs because it doesn't pay enough for them to risk their lives to care for people. These Karens and what are they calling the men? Somebody said they're calling the men Kevin or Ken. I was calling him Brian, but hey, whatever. Karens and Kevins out there. Well, but the thing is, they don't really know if you do become immune to this COVID thing. That's the problem is they don't really know yet, do they? I don't think there really is an immunity to this virus just yet. I mean, you can get this virus once and still get it again and again and again. I know somebody who had it 3 times already. I don't know. I think we need to take time and really study this thing some more, you know. Right. Right, I agree. Oh, it is. Oh, see, these are things that they don't really publicize too much, you know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. This whole thing is just we get all we get one side and we get another side, we get this side, we get that side. You know, at this point, I feel like this is a what do you call it? Process of natural selection at this point. I don't know what to say. It's so up in the air with this virus that see, this is why we need to get a hold of the person who created this goddamn thing and ask them how it really works. If someone created this, they must know how to put an end to this, or or wait, oh, right. Well, they're not with us anymore, are they? See, that's a problem. I don't think this was bats. Because let me tell you something. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. If you have pets, right? If you have cats and dogs, you know you vaccinate your dog from coronavirus, not COVID-19. Right. Well, see, that's the problem. Is I live in a heavily populated area. You know, New York it's a problem, and so yeah, we're definitely, you know, we don't want to go back to that. You know, I feel like you know maybe people right exactly. Well, you know what it is. Like I said, medicine is a big business. Have you noticed that Bayer Drugs has not come up with the vaccine? You know who owns Bayer Drugs, right? Monsanto. I had this odd feeling. Anyone else getting the feeling that Monsanto might be behind this somewhere along the line? Ryan, you are definitely a trooper. I wouldn't want to work throughout all this, although I'm starting to think about it, you know? I mean, the thing is, you know, there are people out there who are, you know, they're afraid at this point. You know, you know, there are people who don't have life, you know, skills, you know, a skill set to get a job, you know, somewhere else. CH7, that's my thought. I think Monsanto has something to do with this because they are very silent and nobody is saying anything about them. Let's be honest. Who was behind West Nile virus? Monsanto. Who was behind Zika virus? Monsanto. You know, I'm telling you, it's going to come out that Monsanto had something to do with this. You know, somebody said something to the other day. Was Monsanto around in 19 around in Uganda in 1940? Yes, the hell they were. Monsanto has been in business since 1901. But see, I know a lot about Monsanto. Monsanto is disgusting. You know, we got them spraying the weeds. You got people spraying the weeds. You got people spraying the mosquitoes. Yep, right. I hear that in H7. Did you see? Monsanto is very quiet right about now. Monsanto and Bayer Drugs. Bayer Drugs is not coming up with the vaccine. Now, if they were coming up with the vaccine, I would be afraid of that. I would be very, very afraid. But so far they haven't. And maybe they can't because we all know we're not stupid. That they're somewhere there. I think this I kind of wonder about this. It's Monsanto people. They're not to be trusted. Oh really? I think it was effective against everybody, no? India was doing really bad for a long time. India was terrible. Oh my God. And elderly. This definitely went after the elderly, and now it's going after the kids. You know. However, or whatever caused this, you know, we just gotta do what we can. You know, we just have to do what we can for our neighbors. You know, at this point, I feel like that's just where we gotta go at this point. Oh, you know, we have to do what we have to can. Yeah, I hear that H7. I mean, look at Florida. Their governor, rumor on the street is he's looking to implement voter suppression in Broward County, which is where I'm supposed to move. Broward County is probably the most liberal part of Florida that exists. Hence why I'm moving there. However, if I'm gonna move to a red state, at least I'm gonna be moving to a red state where I'm gonna be warm. So maybe I can care less about the other assholes in my area. I live in a town that is very, very conservative, and I don't talk to my neighbors at all. When I first moved here, I kid you not, someone came to my door with cards, clan cards. They were members of that group, and you know, they had some not so nice things to say. But anyways, guys, it is now 2 o'clock, and I have to get Jacob. Yeah, me too. There's gonna be a lot of vlogs and stuff I could do in Florida. A lot of stores I've never been to. And trust me, an elephant never forgets, right? What their governor said about New York when things got really bad. Well, that's what voting is for. But anyway, my coffee cakes, I'm going to have to go now because it's almost 2 o'clock, but I will be back tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe if Jacob goes to bed early, I can go live tonight. I don't know. So I will see you guys later. Remember, kindness is free, so spread that. Not be social distance and wear your mask. And I will see you later. And I love you all. Bye. Peace. H7, peace. I love you guys. Bye.